Nice. All right.
We got a package from Fizz Fairy, so let's open it up. We've got the maple candies. I think we got some fragrance oils. Pink Tropical Sangria. Ooh, I love sangria. This has a really nice, sweet scent to it. I really, really like that. Fresh Watermelon Lemonade. Anything watermelon right now is so perfect for summertime. Oh, I like this. I love citrus. It's one of my favorite scent notes, and to combine that with watermelon, that is just that's an amazing pairing. This one is really good. Pumpkin Honey Chai. So we're getting some fall fragrances. Oh, that's really nice. It's the embodiment of fall time, which couldn't be further from my mind right now with such gorgeous weather that we've been having. But if you have a business, this is something you should definitely be thinking about, and you should be purchasing your fall fragrances now, if you're gonna have your stuff ready to market and sell by the time September rolls around. Gooey Ghosts. Oh, this is another fun fall fragrance. Really good for October with the ghosts thing, with the ghosts theme. It smells like marshmallows. Vanilla and marshmallows. Sour melon slushy. That smells like candy, but another really good scent. Wow. Brazilian Crush. I have no idea what that's gonna smell like. Ooh, this is kind of on the perfumey side. And I don't know if I'm a fan of this one. It's a little heady for me. Heady and heavy. No, this one does not speak to me at all. I think it's a dupe of a scent because it says Brazilian Crush Cheirosa 68. So I think this is a dupe of a perfume, but not a perfume that I would personally wear. Grilled Peaches and French Vanilla Ice Cream. That one got Jiggy excited. Wow. Okay, I'm a peach fan. The fruit, anything flavored in peach, and this is another huge win for me. I really like this a lot. Grilled peaches. I don't know if I can pick up the grilled note, but there's something savory about this in addition to the sweetness and the warm vanilla tones. Oh my God, I love this. I'm definitely making something with this for sure. I like that they gave me a big bottle of it. So those were the fragrance oils. We have a few pigments, so I'm gonna pull those out. Okay, so we've got a bunch of dyes. We have peachy red dye, bubblegum pink dye. These look extremely similar to each other, but this does have more of a pinky tone to it than this one. Then we have frog green dye and lavender dye. I don't have these dyes yet from Fizz Fairy. I wonder how different they are from the existing dyes that I already have. For example, how different is bubblegum pink dye to their hot pink dye, which I love, or this lavender dye to their amethyst dye, which I love that one too. So it'll be fun to experiment. The last thing I got here was Red 27 Pink Lake. It looks so vibrant in this jar. I'm really happy that Fizz Fairy sent me these products because I had the perfect project for them. And I'm gonna be using, where is it? The one that I really liked. Fresh Watermelon Lemonade. And I'm gonna use some of these dyes, frog green dye and bubblegum pink dye, to make something fun that I've never made before. And I'll show you what that is later on in this video. But thank you so much to Fizz Fairy. If you want any information on them, I have their website linked down below, and as well as links to the products that I use in this video. So go ahead and check them out. I'm a huge, huge fan of Fizz Fairy. Crazy Colors or Fizz Fairy? I think they're both. So today we are making bubble scoops. I've never done this before, so much like with other projects that I do for the first time on camera, this may or may not be successful. But I'm really glad about this Fizz Fairy shipment that came in because I'll be using quite a few things that came in that package in today's project. So I'm going to test out the bubble gum pink dye. I'm going to also test the frog green dye. And the scent of this is going to be that amazing watermelon lemonade scent. If I could find it. Where did it go? Here we go. Watermelon lemonade. Another reason why I wanted to make this particular project is because my niece's birthday is coming up and I want to send her a big package all the way from Washington to Ontario filled with fun bubble bath things because she loves bath bombs, she loves all those fun bath stuff that all kids like. So let's get to making. I've created this recipe here. Fingers crossed it's gonna work out. But over here we have our wet ingredients and over here we have our dry. What we're gonna do first is mix up the dry and then mix up the wet. And I'm just gonna figure out my process as I go. So the first thing I'm gonna do is measure out my baking soda. These scoops are mostly baking soda, just like a bath bomb, but we're not making bath bombs today. Next up is some SLSA. This ingredient helps give the solid bubble bath bubbles, gives it its foaminess in the tub. Next we're gonna use some tapioca starch. And you can find this in your grocery stores. Check out where they have all of their flours, like their different rice flours and different starches. It should be there. Although the other day I was finding it really difficult to find cornstarch, which should be a pretty common ingredient, but I could not find it anywhere. Does anyone know where cornstarch is usually located in the grocery store? Like what aisle it's normally found in? But I'm using tapioca starch today, not cornstarch. For those bubble tea fans, this is what those pearls are made out of, is this powder. And then the last ingredient is a hardener, cream of tartar, which is the ingredient that I like to use in my bath bombs to harden it up. Another factor that I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for today is the fact that I'm in Washington and it's summertime. So it's pretty humid out there. We'll see if these guys are a success or if I have to go back to the drawing board. Because as we all know, these kinds of recipes are very humidity sensitive and it can make or break a batch. So these are all of my dry ingredients. I'm going to get these mixing in my stand mixer, and while that's mixing, before I even start to mix my wet ingredients, I should really start preparing my surface because once I add my wet ingredients to my dry, things might start to move really fast. So let's go ahead and do that. I need to prepare a tray, all of my tools. Be right back. Pardon that sound, but while that's mixing up in the stand mixer, I'm gonna do my wet ingredients. We're gonna start with some glycerin. This will add a nice moisturizing effect to the water. Next is polysorbate 80. And then my watermelon fragrance oil, fresh watermelon lemonade fragrance oil from Fizz Fairy. Oh no, and there goes a spill. I'm usually really good with these small bottles and not spilling things, but mistakes do happen. And when it runs down the side like that, just give the bottle away because it'll just keep running down the side like that. So these are our wet ingredients. I'm gonna add this now to the mix over there. So here's our mix so far. What we're gonna do is split this batch in half because I want 2 colors. Let's see how much mix is actually in here. $8.63. Let's divide that by 2. $4.30, right? Math is not my strong suit. $8.63 divided by 2. $4.30. I was right. We're gonna put 430 grams of this mixture back in so that we can add our colors. It smells good, wow. And then we are gonna take this guy again. Hold on a second. And we are going to add Cocamidopropyl betaine. And to that, we're going to dissolve our colorant because there is water content in Cocamidel propylbutane, and it should dilute our dye nicely. I'm using a pink and green one, so I'm trying to figure out which one I should do first. I think it'll be easier to absorb the green and the pink. I don't know, we're all figuring things out as we go along here. So I'm gonna add a little bit of the frog green dye to my Cocamidel propylbutane. I think this much should be good. And then I'm gonna use my spatula to mix it in. See how it just diluted that dye? And so when you add it to your mix, it's going to color that mix nicely and evenly. I'm gonna add this to my stand mixer and get this mixing. See, it's turned it into a paste. I'm just gonna scrape down sides so that we get all of that dry mix mixed up with that Cocamidel propylbutane. Okay, so we're gonna transfer my green mix into its own bowl. Should have a nice doughy consistency. That's what we're looking for. You can see I'm working a little quickly here. It's because I don't want to lose that moisture. I'm a first timer here, okay? And we're gonna do the same thing with the pink. I will say that frog green was darker than what I was expecting, so I might not add as much of the pink, because if it's anything like hot pink, it's gonna be pretty concentrated. So I'm just gonna add like that much, see what happens. Give it a stir. Ooh, it's nice and pink. I don't think it'll be as dark as that frog green dye. So I'm gonna add this to the other mix. That's a much more intense pink than what I was expecting. Wow. Okay, I see you, bubblegum pink. So I got a very intense pink from that bubblegum pink, much more intense than what I was expecting. I feel like I didn't use that much, but this is the color you get when you use just a touch of it. So be careful. Dyes are super concentrated, but I'm always surprised at the color that they actually give the products. It depends, I guess, what product you're using these dyes in. When it comes to bath bombs, where you have a lot more powdered ingredients, I can see this being a little bit lighter, but because these bubble scoops are, it's a really wet recipe, colors might be just a little bit more intense. Here are our two gorgeous colors. Now what I'm gonna do is start putting both of them back into this big bowl, and you'll see why in a sec. Should we use just a really wide bowl? I'll do that. So just start putting things in haphazardly. Oops, they're just flying everywhere. The point is to just get chunks of each color in there, so that when you scoop it up with the ice cream scoop, you'll get a little bit of each color. Okay, just put the rest in there, I guess. Ooh, it feels cool. I really like this consistency. It's definitely a consistency I've never worked with before, but it's fun. Okay, so let's peel these guys off of our spatulas so we can get all of our product in there. All right, so here's what we've got. Now is the fun part. We are going to be scooping out, let's go this way? Yeah, let's try this way. You're gonna be scooping out this bubble scoop mixture and putting it onto here. So we're gonna use just a regular ice cream scoop. So now I'm gonna try my next scoop. Just scoop it in, press down on the mixture. You want it to just get really in there. And then we are going to deposit the scoop on the baking sheet. I apologize for that scoop. I don't think my tool is very good. My scooping tool needs some improvement here, but I got a really adorable scoop out of that. So just to show you how I scoop it out, I just scoop it like so, and then I press the mix into the scoop pretty well, and then we deposit it. And if your scoop is a good one, it should come out nicely. But this scoop is not really cooperating with me at all. I wish the scoop was a little nicer. Oh, there we go. Okay. I do think I have to clean out the scoop each time. That helps. So I'm doing that. It just kind of sucks. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. People on TikTok and on Facebook make it look so easy. Come out, please. This bubble scoop. No, you want to. Okay, seriously? This one is just refusing to pop out. Okay, this tool is really annoying. Let's try that again. See how that helped? There, holding it, supporting it. Let me know if struggles with the ice cream scoop is normal when it comes to bubble scoops, or if it's just a me problem. So it doesn't look like I can cleanly just deposit them on the sheet without them misbehaving on me. And that's annoying. Maybe it's my mix? I don't know. I feel like it's okay. Maybe my mix is too wet? I'm trying to think that, because that could also be a culprit. Okay, so it seems to work better. I'm a little forceful with it. My difficulties right now could be due to my tool or simply my mix. Maybe it's too wet. I don't know. I feel like my tool doesn't go all the way. Like it doesn't scrape everything nicely. It's kind of like, I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't do a full scrape, but that shouldn't matter. I don't know, guys, learning curve. I will say that the scoops look pretty adorable. On the adorable factor, I'm gonna give it a 10 because these look so dang cute. I love the green and pink together. That last one was really hard to get out because it feels really wet at this point, and the green and the pink are just awful. They're coming together and forming this like really ugly blob. And I can feel it in my gloves that it's quite a wet mixture, so definitely think that I went a little hard on the moisture there. So what we might end up with are ice cream scoops that expand on me over time. I hope not, but there we go. So here are the finished scoops, and I think for my very first scoops, I think I did a pretty decent job. They're not quite done yet. I want to add a few more final touches. We're gonna add some poppy seeds, and they're gonna be the watermelon seeds. So what I'm gonna do next with these guys is put it away to dry, and hopefully they don't expand on me or nothing goes wrong during the drying process, which they still could. I have a suspicion that they are a touch too wet, but we'll see. I guess we'll find out tomorrow morning. Hey guys. So here are the bubble scoops the next day. And have you ever made something so adorable that you just can't? That's me right now. I'm in a state of absolute shock with how gorgeous these bubble scoops turned out. Let me give you a close-up of one of them. Does this not look like a perfectly scooped ball of ice cream? Are you kidding me? And it smells so good. I think lemonade watermelon from Fizz Fairy. I think that is one of my favorite scents that I've ever had from them, and I want to make more things with it, which I will for sure. This recipe, which I thought was too wet, it dried just fine. They're still a little soft to the touch, which I think is normal. I'm pretty confident in shipping them. They look absolutely fantastic. They look very solid. I wrote up a version of the recipe with less liquid in it, so I'm gonna try that today to see whether or not the results are the same, but this is a pretty good start. I'm pretty happy with this. Not only am I very pleased about the shape of these guys, but the colors. Look at them. Remember, this is frog green dye and bubblegum pink dye from Fizz Fairy, and the colors look fantastic. I know that people like to use mica when they make bubble scoops. In my personal opinion, using a lot of mica to color bath products it can be touch and go. It can leave a really thick ring around where the bath water is. So liquid dyes are a good workaround from that, or a good, not workaround, they're a good alternative if you want to avoid something like that. And if you use dyes, you use less polysorbate 80 because you don't need as much to work on that ring, because that's what people do when they use mica to color these guys. They add a lot of polysorbate 80 to help with that. So this new recipe, I'm gonna give it a go, and this time using Fizz Fairy's grilled peaches and cream, because I'm super curious, and I like that smell almost as much as I like this lemonade watermelon. So I'm gonna try that out and let you know how that goes. So for this bath scoop, it's gonna be an orange and white. So I've done the white. Now I'm gonna mix up the peachy orange part of it. At least I'm hoping it's gonna be peachy orange. We're gonna be using the peachy red dye that I got from Fizz Fairy. Just a tiny amount of it. It's better to start small, work your way up. Oh, this is pretty. It looks orange in here, but over here above, it looks peachy. Just like the name suggests. Maybe I'll add a little more. I don't know. Am I playing with fire here? Maybe. This is what experimentation is all about. It looks really orange in here, but from above, I swear it's weird. It's weird. I need you guys to see this. I need you to see what I'm seeing. Does that not look more peachy red from above? How can it be both? What's going on here, guys? So I've mixed this up as much as I can. There's a few clumps, but that's okay. I'm gonna move the white portion out of my mixer. Here's what the white part of it looks like. It's a nice doughy consistency, which is what I'm looking for in bubble scoops. And to this, I'll add my Cocomineal with the dye. So here is the color, and it is definitely a peach, which I really like. It's actually a color that I've tried to get before from my Fizz Fairy bath bomb dyes, and never could quite get. I would try to mix a bit of orange, a bit of pink, a bit of red, a bit of yellow, and it was never really a true peach color, but this is peach. So to the makers at Fizz Fairy, I salute to you guys. I dip my hat to you. Is that the right saying? We have our two colors. First, we're gonna scoop. We're gonna press the mix into the scoop and then deposit it over here. And there you go. It's scooped much nicer this time around than the other time. I was definitely too wet. So if you're struggling scooping it out, it's probably too wet. There you go. Yep, these are giving me a much easier time than last time. Gorgeous. There's like a layer that gets deposited on top, which is because of the tool. Yeah, at least behind the layer. Hi everybody, we are in my second bathroom and we are going to be testing my little puck of solid bubble bath. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to break off a piece. And that is how many bubbles that little piece gave me. Break off another little piece. We're gonna add this much. So cool. Gibson, did you see how many bubbles it makes?
Wow, that's a lot more bubbles than the bath bomb makes.
The bath bomb doesn't make very many.
Yeah.
But this is solid bubble bath, and
It's
it
a good
makes
bubble bath. Yep.
Yeah, and it was just a small piece of the puck too. So you can definitely break it up and use little bits and pieces over time and not have to use it all at once.
Nice.
If you want this bubble scoop recipe, you can find that on my Patreon. There's a link to that down below. And it's a good one, guys. So if you think this is the cutest bath project ever, I recommend you check that out. Also linked down below are the supplies that I used for today's project. Thank you so much to Fizz Fairy for sending me those fragrance oils, for sending me those dyes. They were perfect for those bubble scoops, and I highly recommend them if you are wanting to get into bath bomb making, soap making, bubble scoop making. They are honestly a really great supplier for those ingredients. But that's it for today. See you guys next week for more making and more insight into what it's like to be a small business owner. Bye, guys.